How you doing, guys? I want to tell you a couple of things before we start with some of my YouTube comments. And for one thing, I finally surpassed 500,000 views, so appreciate all the viewers, subscribers for that. And also, during my last video, I explained also I'm working on a video for a demo of the Contour Shuttle Pro version 2 for video editing, which I have been using for a while now. I'm just backed up on videos right now because of course, my personal life, I got a lot of stuff going on with that and work. But that is, I'm going to be working on that as well. And so I'm going to go over one. Now this is from IDAN124. And this had to do with my dual versus single GPU. And I know, I think I primarily talked about how the Final Cut Pro 10 now finally supports dual graphic cards, especially for the 2013 Mac Pro, which comes with dual cards by default. Now, some of the older cheese grater Mac Pros, you know, didn't necessarily, some of the older software didn't, I mean, you can use dual GPUs. It wouldn't necessarily use both of them at the same time for different applications. It all depends. So he says, dual RX 480 works very bad for me, worse than even single for most cases. So I guess he had a bad experience with the dual graphic cards RX 480 and I guess that Mac Pro. Now, a good place to go is actually Mac Rumors in their Mac Pro section, and they actually had a topic specifically on dual RX 480. So if you might want to check that out, I'll try to put a link in the comments as well. Also for IDAN124. And I mean, it all depends because really the older Mac Pros that do support PCIe slots are getting pretty old now. And obviously Apple kind of stopped supporting a lot of the older cards. Now they did a secret, I guess, driver update where it would support AMD cards up to, I think the 7000 series and even the GTXs up to a certain point. Well, with the GTXs, at least they have their web drivers, which have been supported almost to the most recent ones. Lately, with the newer cards, I don't think they release a web driver as of yet. I'm not sure, but I don't think so. So support is kind of spotty on newer cards, and in fact, it looked like you have to upgrade the graphic card BIOS, the EFI or UEFI. So, you know, and then you got to worry about putting maybe another power supply in there, more than likely. So, but reading through actually the Mac Rumor topic on that thread, it did, people would actually, on the most part, actually get support for dual cards. I believe the RX 480. So it is possible. Your typical certain situation, you know, I'm not sure. I think they even had an option you can, little script file that would enable OpenCL. I think maybe perhaps that's your problem. And so even the cards are not necessarily matched for dual cards. For instance, the one person had RX 480 and I think even a 5770, I think something like that, two different cards, and it still seemed to work. Getting better, faster rendering and video editing apps and so on. So yeah, I suggest taking a look at that on Mac Rumors, Mac Pro section, especially if you have an older Mac, you like upgrading and things like that. Okay, this next question comes from Bruna Camporezzi. Hopefully I said that right. And she says, it's hard to convert my videos to a format that my iPhone can use. And I've had similar problems as well, not putting videos on my iPhone, which I never done. One time I tried to upload a ringtone, and surprisingly it was kind of hard because I had to convert it to format that it supported and other things. But there are ways, and I actually made a separate video. You want to check that out as well. I made a whole video just for that. But basically using there's many applications out there that will give you presets for iPhones, iPads, Androids, and a lot of other things. Some are free or paid. Even the Mac OS operating system has it built in. For instance, if you use QuickTime, it'll automatically convert it for you if you want to upload it to your iPhone. And in one case, you can even not only render the video, it will put it in iTunes for you, and then you simply take it from iTunes and upload it to your iPhone. So that's probably one of the quickest ways to do that. Also check out the video for that. Another question comment from Memora Visible, and this had to do with the firmware upgrade that I did for my 2009 Mac Pro. It allowed me to use Sierra, which is not supported natively on the 2009 Mac Pro. So I upgraded the firmware, and it gives you, many different features. You can then upgrade the processor CPUs to something more better, faster RAM, I think, among other things. Now, the only thing with the 2008 Mac Pro, that's really a different hardware, because something that the 2008 Mac Pro doesn't have that the 2009 version has is hyper-threading. So it's going to make it very hard to do a firmware upgrade to make it greater than what it is already. So now I think on some older Mac Pros, there's one that's floating out there for a particularly old Mac Pro maybe that you can use, but in your case, I don't think so. So we got one more question from Leon. Tell me where you find that rig in your video, which I did a video for my ProAim shoulder rig, which gives you stabilizes your video. You can also mount it on your shoulder where, like a shoulder mounted camera type of thing, and it does stabilize the video a whole lot more. The only thing I found a lot of problems, it's a ProAim, that's the name of the, and you can search online for it, is the rubber pads actually come unglued. It is made in China and it is cheap, or a lot cheaper. It is still pretty durable on the most part, but the main complaint I had with it is it's very heavy over longer periods of time, because they use steel rather than aluminum or carbon fiber rods, things to do to reduce the weight, and it's actually quite heavy. So that was a big problem for me, and I just simply stopped using it as more of a hassle for that reason. But like I said, you can look it up online, ProAim. There's probably several companies out there that will sell it to you, But if you're looking for something much more lighter weight, they have many manufacturers out there that make it out of aluminum, a lot lighter weight aluminum, carbon fiber as well, or even aluminum rods. It's going to be a lot lighter in weight. So those are some of my YouTube comments, and as always, help me out. Please like my videos and subscribe to me if you like them. I'm going to try to come out with a couple of videos at least every week. And see you guys later.